hammer to tap train wheels, the quality of the ring that was produced telling his experienced ear whether or not the wheel was in good order. Down on the valley floor, white clouds puffed out of the funnel on top of the front end of the locomotive, which pulled a line not of coaches, but of goods wagons. Some had names painted on the sides because they belonged to companies that use the railways all the time. At the rear came several unbranded wagons, their contents covered by tarpaulins. "Do you suppose the train is bringing us our air raid shelters?" asked Mabel. "Distribution is starting this month." "We won't get ours for ages yet," said Althea. "It'll be the cities that get them first, and ports and places like that." She almost made it sound as if Annaby would have no need of them. Mabel thought of Bradshaw's ball bearings and other small components being turned over to war work, but kept it to herself. Would Jerry know where the factories were? If rural Annaby wasn't near the top of the list for Anderson shelters, and the war suddenly started, was her beloved hometown in danger of taking a clobbering, with no protection for its citizens? A shudder ran through her. "Cold?" asked Althea. "Daft question. It's freezing up here. We should start walking again before our feet turn into blocks of ice." She dug her hand into the crook of Mabel's elbow and moved in close, their arms pressed up against one another. Mabel squeezed her elbow against her side, creating a warm nest for Althea's hand as they set off. They were more than friends. They were as good as sisters, something they had never tired of telling people when they were growing up. As a child, Mabel had wished she had smooth buttermilk blonde hair so that they could look like sisters too. But her own hair was dark brown, and she reckoned she kept the hairpin industry in business, since, left to their own devices, her long waves liked nothing better than to fluff up all over the show. "I wish your family was coming to London for the season," Mabel sighed. Her brief hope that their Majesties' state visit to Canada and America in May would mean there would be no London season this year had been well and truly dashed by the news that the season was going to commence several weeks early, in March. "Why don't I ask Mumsy if you can come with us?" she suggested. "No, you mustn't. My parents don't have the same aspirations as yours." That was true. Althea's folks were minor gentry, and content to remain so. There had never been any question of Althea's being spirited off for a London season. It was the girls' lifelong friendship that had created the connection between the two families, and if Althea's parents entertained any reservations about the nouveau riche Bradshaws, all Mabel could say was that the girls had never been made aware of it. Sometimes the thought of the forthcoming season made her feel as if she had a weight lodged inside her chest, but Pops was determined. So there was no getting out of it. Heaven alone knew how he had brought it about. But he was now in touch with a Dowager Viscountess, who made a considerable income each year by presenting debutantes at court if they didn't have a mother or aunt who was allowed to present them. A quick flick through Mumsy's etiquette book had shown that there were more reasons than you could shake a stick at as to why a lady wouldn't be deemed eligible to do the presenting. Well, that was a comfort of sorts. If the Viscountess made a living in this manner, it meant that Mabel wouldn't be alone in not being presented by her mother. "I just wish you were having your dresses made up here," said Althea, "so I could come with you to the fittings and see them all." But no, Mabel's wardrobe was to be the product of the most high-class London dress salons. Was it ungrateful not to look forward to that? Possibly. But honestly, what place was there in the London season for the granddaughter of a wheel tapper? Even if she'd been privately educated and her father had money to burn. Knowing that the Bradshaws wouldn't be the only new money on the circuit was no help. Mabel just wanted to stay at home. Simple as that. With no Althea to back her up,